Okay, so good day everyone. Welcome back again to another episode of our online learning. For today, we are going to discuss another tribe here in the Philippines, which is the Subanen tribe. Today's lesson, we will try to discover and unravel the history of the Subanen tribe, as well as their way of living and the challenges that they have faced up till now. Okay, so the Subanen tribe are an indigenous people of the Zamboanga Peninsula in the Philippines. They are known for their rich cultural heritage and history. The word Subanen derived from the word Suba, which means river, in which the theorists believe that this could refer to the Subanen people living near rivers or their dependence on waterways for transportation and sustenance. So, Subanen tribe are often found near rivers and they also are dependent on waterways for transportation. The Subanen have inhabited the Zamboanga Peninsula since before 500 BC, predating the Neolithic era. They were established in the islands of Mindanao before the arrival of other tribes and foreign colonizers. The Subanen had commercial relations with the Tausug, Maguindanao, and Maranao, engaging in trade with Chinese merchants long before the arrival of Islam. Okay, so before the arrival of Islam, the Subanen have already inhabited the Zamboanga Peninsula since before 500 BC, during the time of the Stone Age. They were established in the islands of Mindanao before other tribes and the foreign colonizers. They also engage with, they also have commercial relations with the Tausug, Maguindanao, and Maranao tribes. And also with the Chinese merchants, they engage with trade and barters. The Subanen were traditionally farmers, moving from one location to another to clear more forests for fields. They cultivate crops, with rice being the most important, and raised livestock, including pigs, chickens, cattle, and tamaraw. Their houses were built along hillsides and ridges, looking family fields, typically rectangular, raised on stilt and hatch roof. Okay, so before the colonization, Subanen were traditionally farmers. They moved from one place to another to perform this, what they called Sweden farming or kaingen farming, wherein they clear more forest fields and cultivate crops para na sila yung matamnan. They also raised livestock, including pigs, cattle, and tamaraws. And their houses were built along ridges and hillsides to look on their kanang ilahang mga gipangtamnan. Okay, so you can see in the picture here, this is the murag village ni sa Subanen tribes. Makita ninyo ilang mga kanang panginabuhian. Mao po niya ang ilahang kanang balay. So if you can observe in the picture, ang ilahang balay is rectangular in shape and habog. Habog kanang tagas kayo nga mga hagdan. It's because gi-design ni siya nga inani ang ilahang kanang balay para overviewing or overlooking siya sa kanang kuan sa ilahang kanang mga tanom. Unya, mas dali po nila makitaan if naanap man nag-approach ang ilahang mga kontra. During the Spanish rule, the Spanish sought to extend their territory over the whole southern Philippines, declaring an intention to protect the Subanen. The Spanish governor, Valeriano Weyler, constructed fortifications across the Tucuran Isthmus to prevent raids by the Maranao. Spanish military ended in 1899 under the terms of Treaty of Paris. So, during the time of the Spanish rule, gusto sa mga Spaniards nga ma-extend ang ilahang territory pa doon sa southern Philippines. But then, sa southern Philippines, naaman na mo yun dito ang katong mga, mostly ang mga tribes. That is why kani si Valeriano Weyler, ang Spanish governor during that time, nag-declare siya og intention nga mo-protect daw sila sa subanin. Nga nag-construct siya nga fortifications alongside with the Tukaran Isthmus wherein naa didto ang mga kanang subanen tribes para iyahang panindigan ang ilahang kanang intention nga mag-protect daw sila sa subanin to prevent the raids by the Maranao. So, the Spanish military control ended in 1899 under the terms of Treaty of Paris. So, after na end ang Spanish colonization, ning enter na po ang American kay, di ba? Sa terms sa Treaty of Paris baligya di aita sa mga Spaniards nga to sa American. So before the American government could establish its presence, the Muslims from the Lake region attacked the Subanin, and the Americans were drawn into conflict. So before pa nakakanang establish og presence ang mga Americans ato sa Tukuran Isthmus, ang mga Muslims nga silingan sa Subanin ning attack na sila sa Subanin. That is why ang mga Americans na-appeal sila sa conflict sa Muslims and the Subanin. Ang mga military garrisons sa Americans na take over na sa mga Muslim forces. And katong naka-establish na sila og presence dito, na-abandon na sa ang place nga kanang gipunduhan sa mga Subanin. So despite the long history and hostile actions against the Subanin tribe by their neighbor tribes and foreign colonizers, the Subanin have managed to preserve their identity, customs, religion, language, dialects, and traditions. They have faced challenges from lagging concessions, government encroachments, but continue to advocate for the protection of their ancestral land. Let's move on to the main livelihood of the Subanin. So the Subanin tribe primarily relies on agriculture for their livelihood. The Subanin people refer to their traditional agricultural practices as the kaingin or the Sweden farming. So as I've mentioned earlier, ang ilahang nga practice dito is katong Sweden farming or the kaingin farming. This term describes a method of slash and burn agriculture where a section of forest is cleared, burned, and cultivated for crops. In addition to kaingin, the Subanin also engage in wet and dry agriculture, depending on their geographical location. They cultivate rice, corn, root crops, and engage in fishing and hunting as supplementary activities. So kaning picture ani mo na siya ang kaingin farming wherein makita ninyo nga nag-clear sila og kanang forest fields na nag-aswaso dire dayon after nila na pangsunugon na naman sa kanang ilahan ng kanang i-cultivate para na sila bagong makatamnan. Okay, so aside from kaingin kuno, the Subanin also engage in wet and dry agriculture. So nagdepende magud sila sa ilang geographical locations since nay mga Subanin tribes nga napuyo alongside the river, napoy mga Subanin nga nasa mga hills and bridges. Okay, so katong mga naa sa kanang alongside rivers, ilang supplementary activities is fishing. While on the other hand, katong mga na dito sa kanang buntod, ang ilahang supplementary activities aside from the kaingin farming is they also cultivate and they engage themselves into agriculture wherein they cultivate rice, corn, root crops, and hunting and gathering mo na ilahang mga supplementary activities katong mga nasa buntod. Okay, so rice is the most important crop for the Subanin, often grown using a carabao drone plow in wet areas. Okay, so nagbalik-balik na rin dapita. Rice kuno ang the most important crop for the Subanin. And they also cultivate corn, coconuts, hemp, squash, eggplants, melons, bananas, and other fruits nga kanang dali ra mabuhi dito sa kanang mga dito sa mga si pangalan ni kabudlan dito sa mga kabudlan. Okay, so fishing is another crucial activity, especially for those living near coastal areas. So as I said earlier, katong mga namuyo sa kanang alongside rivers, ang ilahang kanang kwan dito is fishing. Another one is hunting. Hunting provides another additional sustenance, but it is becoming less common due to deforestation and wildlife conservation efforts. The Subanin gather forest products like fruits, nuts, and medicinal plants. Okay, so kaning hunting and gathering, common ni siya sa katong mga taga-Subanin nga nagpuyo dito sa kanang mga bud, mga hillsides. Okay, so but then kaning hunting na less common na ni siya due to deforestation and wildlife conservation efforts. Ang gathering pod mo niya katong mag-gather sila og mga fruits, nuts, unsay ilang makita dito sa forest, mga medicinal plants para makanang masustain ang ilahang kanang daily needs. Okay, so the Subanen people also participates in trade, exchanging surplus crops and other goods for essential items. Okay, so as mentioned ganina ato sa kanang murag intro man ata to nga ang Subanen na sila commercial relations with the Tausug, the Maranao, and the Maguindanao, and also the Chinese merchants. Mo niya natong gingan nga ning engage sila og trade with these tribes. Okay, so let's go on with the Subanen culture and traditions. The Subanen tribe or the Subanen people believed in the existence of spirits which they call Diwata, inhabiting the natural elements like rivers, mountains, and forests. They perform rituals and ceremonies to appease this spirit, seeking their protection and guidance. So just like sa atua, ang term po nato if ang term sa atua kay kaning mga agta man. Yung sa Tagalog pa kaning mga diwata-diwata. Okay, so ang Subanin pod ning believe po sila aning existence aning mga spirits kaning mga tagbantay daw sa rivers, mountains, and forests, and they call it diwata. So they perform certain rituals and ceremonies para ma-appease ning mga spirits to seek for their protection and guidance. Okay, so sa social structure po sa Subanin, the Subanin lived in a small communities with extended families, forming the core unit of the society, wherein the elders play a crucial role in decision-making and preserving their cultural traditions. So, when we say kana sa social structure of the Subanin, ang kuana ni is extended family na pa ilang mga grandma, grandpa, nag-live sila under the same roof. Unya, ang ilahang mga elders dito, may kanang nag-play a crucial role sa ilahang village since ang mga elders maoy much more on kanang decision making and maoy nag-preserve much sa ilang cultural traditions, preserved through oral communication, oral kanang literature. Kay wala man sila kanang mga means of kanang writings dito. Ang ilaha is kanang oral lang jud ang ilaha nga kanang pag preserve sa ilang tradition. Ilahang i-pass from generations to generations from oral by the elders in their village. Okay, so the arts and crafts of the Subanin. So the Subanin are known for their intricate beadwork, weaving, and wood carving. Their colorful attire, adorned with beadwork, often symbolizes cultural identity and social status. So the Subanin, if you try to search on the internet o kanang mga kuan sa Subanin, ang pinaka kanang common or ang pinaka most prominent jud nga mogawas dito is ang ilahang mga beadwork. It is because arts and craft of Subanin are more on beadworks. Napod sa weaving and wood carving. So the festivals and celebrations. The Subanin celebrates various festivals and ceremonies, including Buklug, a thanksgiving ritual held every 7 to 9 years to honor the spirits. So ang common nga kanang ceremonies nga conduct sa mga Subanin tribe is ang Buklog, which is a thanksgiving rituals that is held every 7 to 9 years to honor each spirit. Okay, so I have here the picture. These are the arts and crafts of the Subanin. Kani siya, mao niya siya ang kaning colorful gikan sa right side, pinaka right side, mao ni siya ang mga beadworks of Subanin. If you can see in the picture, as you can observe here, colorful kayo ang ilang mga beadworks, and this makes them very famous. Mao ni sila ang kanang mo ni siyang most prominent pud nga arts and craft of the Subanin, kay kung makakita na gani mo mga kanang beadworks nga inani ang designs, intricate kayong designs, Subanin jud na siya nag-starts. Okay, so they also have this weaving of baskets and wood carvings. Okay. So mao po ni siya ang kanang picture sa ilang ceremony nga gi-perform, which is called the Buklog, wherein held to 7 to 9 years to honor the spirits. Maginani sila, inani ilang forma. Actually, naka-observe na ko inani nga kanang ceremony back when I was in Enchanted, kay inani po ang ilahang gina-perform dito, kay na may mga traditional na mga indigenous people po dito sa Enchanted. Okay, so mo po ni siya ang forma sa kanang attire sa kanang Subanin kanang people. Pero kani siya kanang modern na ni siya nga style. Pero if imuha jud nga kanang tutukan ang kanang picture, makita nimo nga sa ilaha nga kanang sinuotan na represent jud taman ang ilaha nga kanang arts and craft, which is the beadwork. May nagpadaog kanang beauty of color sa ilaha nga kanang costume. So let's go on with the challenges and the preservations that the Subanin people faced. Okay, so the Subanin tribe faced challenges like land rights issues, cultural preservation, and socio-economic disparities. Efforts are being made to address these challenges and promote the rights as well as the well-being of the indigenous communities of the Philippines. The Subanin are finding the balance between preserving their cultural heritage and adapting to the changing socio-economic and political landscape here in the Philippines. So organizations and government initiatives aim to support the sustainable development of cultural preservation of indigenous communities like the Subanin. Okay, so just like other tribes and other indigenous communities here in the Philippines, the Subanin also face challenges like land rights issues, cultural preservations, and socio-economic disparities. When we say land rights issues, ang ilang mga lands dito, mag-degrading na kayo, kanang daghan o kanang mga kanang na-claim ba na chances nga mapahawa sila atong lugara wherein sila manuntang na. And cultural preservation because kanang due to kanang modernization, hinay-hinay na nga nagkagamay or nagka-less, nagkawala ang ilaha nga culture niya. Gamay na lang ang kanang mga tribes nga namuyo dito. Making it one of the challenges nga ma-preserve ang ilahang culture. But then governments are now kanang aiming to support the sustainable development and cultural preservation of indigenous communities like the Subanin. And they are also finding their balance between preserving their cultural heritage and adapting to the socio-economic and political landscape of the Philippines. So that's it, and I hope you learned something in my discussion for today. See you on our next online learning.